Shanna Allen drew on first-hand experience in her efforts to shape changes in Ontario's child welfare system. 4 years since we last spoke with her, Shanna is now back to tell us how she's been doing. So we welcome her back, the former Crown Ward, Shanna Allen, to TVO. It's great to see you again.
Thank you. It's good to see you too.
So you are how old now?
I'm 24.
24. And let's just a little bit about your background for those who didn't see you last time you were here. You're from where originally?
So I'm originally actually born in the States.
Okay. And made it up here how?
Well, my parents separated and my mom moved to Sarnia to find her family, actually.
Okay. And then what?
And then, so when I was 9 years old, I went into care. And that was because, unfortunately, my mother had a mental illness and she was really struggling. And
Dad was out of the picture, I presume.
yeah, he was in the States. So once I went into care, my mother didn't have very much support. And unfortunately, a couple years later, she actually committed suicide.
Going into care for you meant what?
So it meant living with foster parents. That's what it meant for me. I was a Crown Ward at that point when my mother passed away, and I was living with temporary parents who, they provided a house, but not necessarily all the things that a parent would provide.
And this was where? What city?
This was in Sarnia as well.
Still in Sarnia?
Yeah.
Okay. And you did that until what age?
Until the age of 18, when I aged out.
You age, that's the expression, right? You age out at the age of 18, and then what happens?
Well, for me, I went away to school, but when you're 18, that's when you pretty much lose most of your supports, unless you are in school. So because I was in school, I had support till I was 21.
And support means what?
So support means like financial support, having a worker that you can call, some health benefits, but at the age of 21, that's all gone.
And do you kind of feel like you're on your own at this point in life, or do you still have some access to your former foster parents, or what?
I definitely feel like I'm alone. I actually, by the age of 18, I still created my own supports, and I had connection with my worker, but at that time I was pretty much on my own.
So province of Ontario then held hearings, right, to sort of figure out how to reform this system?
Yeah, so then at that time, I wanted to advocate for change, and I thought that because of my experience wasn't a good experience, I wanted to, help other youth and children who were going to be going through the system. So I applied to the office, and I started working with the advocate's office, and we came up with these hearings, which is where children and youth, they told us what was really not going well in the system and what things needed to change. How
did you get, where did the notion of you participating in this process begin anyway?
So it was just like a job posting like any other, and before this I was really involved in advocating for children and youth, so when I saw the posting, it was something that I really wanted to do, and I know that the system needed fundamental change, and it still does, and I think that's how I applied to the job, and then it just grew. We didn't know what was all the challenges we were gonna come across, but we found out a lot.
You went to Postsecondary?
Yes.
Where'd you go? Wilfrid Laurier, is that where you went?
Yeah.
Okay, and what happened there?
So I graduated. I did graduate in 2014, thank you. Big accomplishment. And
what'd you graduate with?
My teaching degree. So it was a Bachelor of Education and a Bachelor of Arts.
Terrific. Now, it's 4 years since you've been here in that chair. How's your life different now?
Well, I would say I was going through a dark time. Even though there was a lot of great things happening, it was really hard to, handle. But I think since then, I went and taught overseas.
Where'd you go?
I went to Egypt. It was a really good experience, yeah.
Teaching what?
I was teaching English and social studies.
Fabulous. Did you enjoy it?
It was a different experience. It was good, though.
Different sometimes is a way of saying not good.
No, it was good. It was just, I would like to be teaching here.
Gotcha. So have you scored a teaching job here yet?
I'm on a supply list, but I'm not working all that much. So still looking. It's hard because I don't know if it's because of my circumstance, but it's about those connections, right? And as a child and youth in care, it's hard to get those connections to principals and parents who are principals or teachers. I don't have that necessarily. Whereas my friends who are really getting a lot of calls, they have those connections. Their parents are teachers so it's been a little bit challenging.
How do you overcome starting so far back compared to everybody else?
Honestly, looking back, I don't really, it's hard to explain. I think, I had some of those supports in place where a lot of youth in care really don't have those supports in place. And I wasn't in group home care, I wasn't homeless. It's how you deal with something. I dealt with it by pushing forward and forgetting. And some people, they go to crime, or they have different ways of dealing with things. So.
How tough to stay positive?
It's challenging.
Some days, eh?
Yeah, definitely.
There have been some changes made, though, to the adoption system. Pat Convery's talked about them. What do you think?
So I think adoption is great for those youth who are and children who that's an option for. But some children, like myself, like that wouldn't have been an option because for me, I wanted to live with my mom. I wanted her to have those proper supports. And some youth have already created their support systems, which is after my mom passed away, that's what I did. So you know what I mean? Like that's, for some youth, that's what works. And I'm more concerned about those invisible youth, or who I think are invisible, like the ones that are homeless or have special needs, or you know, in group homes that don't have that option.
Any other changes that have not been implemented that you think ought to be?
There's a lot, actually. I think that the one thing that my real life book, the report, was saying was that the system needs to fundamentally change. It's not just little things here and there. You know, it's really from the bottom up. I mean, some things like, I think the group homes need to be reviewed. I think that, you know, I just think there needs to be better outcomes for youth in care because, you know, if it was your child, you would want the best no matter what pathway they were going through, right? No matter what they were going through.
I've got your next job. You run for office.
Yeah?
Run for office,
Okay.
get elected, make the changes. How's that sound?
We'll see, we'll see. I'll see what I can do. If I can't get in teaching, then I'll continue on that path.
Put it this way, Shanna, I wouldn't bet against you. I think you're doing great. Thanks a lot for coming into TVO tonight and updating us on your life.
Great, thank you so
Shanna
much.
Allen.
Help TVO create a better world through the power of learning. Visit supporttvo.org and make a tax-deductible donation today.